Money, sunlight, and warm weather don't equate happiness, and for proof, look no further than the newly released World Happiness Report. For some, happiness may conjure images of a hot, sun-drenched beach, but it turns out that the happiest people in the world actually live in frigid temperatures, swim in icy waters, and pay high taxes. That's right, the Nordic countries are once again occupying the top spots in the United Nations-sponsored report that celebrates its 10th anniversary. And while the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has impacted how some people think about life satisfaction, the new report states that the average life evaluation has remained quite resilient in the past 2 years. Kindly make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 10 happiest countries in the world. Happiness is a nebulous thing, hard to grasp and harder to hold onto. Scientists, economists and philosophers have defined it through the ages as a combination of different things, among them health, wealth, companionship, and security. The United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network employs an international group of economists, neuroscientists and statisticians to survey citizens on their subjective well-being to produce a comprehensive annual list of the happiest countries in the world. That is not to say the report is without a scientific basis. Economic and social factors are considered along with the survey, namely GDP per capita, social support, life expectancy, freedom to make life choices, generosity and perceptions of corruption, but the focus is on how happy citizens say they are, not how happy statisticians think they should be. Measuring trust and happiness in a society is not an easy task. In their 158-page study, the happiness experts offer plenty of detailed charts, graphs, and historical data. As an alternative, you can skip all that and ask yourself a simple question: how worried would you be if you lost your wallet? To feel that it would be returned by a police officer, a neighbor or a stranger, tells a lot about how happy you and the people around you are. Not only that, it is a more powerful predictor of individual well-being than wealth. Money, as the report has proved time and again and in these troubled times more than ever, truly does not buy happiness. So, now, let's dig deeper into each of the top 10 happiest countries in the world. Number 10 on the list of happiest countries in the world is New Zealand. Home to about 5 million people and 26 million sheep, New Zealand falls one spot in the ranking. A developed country, New Zealand ranks high in international comparisons of national performance, such as quality of life, education, protection of civil liberties, government transparency and economic freedom. New Zealand underwent major economic changes during the 1980s, transforming it from a protectionist to a liberal free trade economy. Also, New Zealand is one of the top 10 happiest countries in the world. New Zealanders are not as happy as ever, on a scale from 1 to 10, taking into account all the 6 variables that contribute to happiness. They rated their satisfaction with life at 7.2, a score enviable to most countries on Earth, yet their lowest average ever. It is certainly a temporary slip. Kiwis take their happiness seriously and know that preserving it needs work and constant planning. To the extent, the Happiness Report points out that the country has for 3 years branded its budget as a well-being budget, and in the 2021's edition of the document the second page was entirely devoted to reporting statistics of happiness. Number 9 on the list of happiest countries in the world is Israel. Israel managed to gain 2 spots last year and reached the 12th position in the World Happiness Report. So much so that in the newest edition of the ranking, Israel earns 3 extra spots, vaulting for the first time into the top 10. But it is also worth noting that since the index was released for the first time a decade ago, Israel never slipped below the 14th spot. In other words, it is one of the most consistently happy countries in the world. Many, over the years, have wondered how this nation of 9.2 million, surrounded by hostile neighbors and perpetually embroiled in conflict, could truly be so happy. Easy answer: happiness is not just determined by the presence or the lack of one given element. Israel is a rich and vibrant country where people can rely on strong community ties and feel they can decide how to pursue their goals in life. Number 8 on the list of happiest countries in the world is Norway. It is one of the most prosperous countries in the world and one of the most virtuous. Norwegians think that democracy should enforce equality. The result is less income and gender disparity, excellent free healthcare and more confidence in elected officials. Social and institutional trust, as we have learned, emerged as crucial factors in determining the well-being of citizens. While over the past few years Norway has been slipping in the ranking, they were in the third-place spot in 2019, the fifth in 2020 and the sixth last year. There is no doubt that its social model remains an extraordinary success story. In addition, Norway has a low crime rate and a strong sense of community among its citizens. A quality it shares with many of the top 10 countries. Norway has a total area of 148,729 square miles and a population of 5.47 million. Number 7 on the list of happiest countries in the world is Sweden. Sweden has consistently ranked high in the list thanks to the two key elements of happiness that proved particularly important through all the trials and tribulations of these past 2 years: its strong social support networks and the perceived honesty and accountability of its institutions, and that has not changed due to the pandemic. Sweden is the happiest Nordic country of Northern Europe. It is on the border of Finland in the west and north in Norway. Also, Sweden is the largest country in Northern Europe, with an area of 450,295 square kilometers, the third largest country in the European Union, and is the fifth largest country in Europe. Sweden's capital and the largest city is Stockholm. The total population of the country is 10.4 million, in which 87% of Swedish are in urban areas, which cover 1.5% of the whole land area. The highest concentration is in the middle and southern part of the country. Along with this, in the case of GDP per capita, Sweden is the sixth richest country in the world and its citizens have experienced high quality. Sweden is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Number 6 on the list of happiest countries in the world is Luxembourg. Just 5 years ago, this land of castles, lakes and rolling hills occupied the 20th position in the happiness ranking. Luxembourg made it into the top 10 in the 2020 edition of the report, and it gained 2 additional spots every year since then. With an area of 2,586 square kilometers, it is one of the smallest sovereign states in Europe. Luxembourg is one of the least populated countries in Europe, but by far the country with the highest population growth rate. About half of the population of Luxembourg are foreigners. The country is headed by Grand Duke Henry and is the only remaining sovereign Grand Duchy in the world. Certainly, the fact that this very small nation of about 645,000 people scores above average in social connections and subjective well-being helped too. And while money cannot buy happiness, it does not hurt that Luxembourg is among the richest countries in the world, where workers enjoy an average gross salary of roughly €5,000 per month. Number 5 on the list of happiest countries in the world is Netherlands. A fixture of the Happiness Report's top 10, the Netherlands maintains its number 5 position in the ranking. The Netherlands is a country located in Western Europe with territories in the Caribbean. It is the largest of the 4 constituent countries of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. The official language of the country is Dutch, with West Frisian as a secondary official language in the province of Friesland. It has English and Papiamento as secondary official languages in the Caribbean Netherlands. The Dutch score well when it comes to social connections and institutional trust, and remain more affluent, educated and freer to make their own life choices than at any point in their country's history. In addition, the Netherlands is a developed economy and has been playing a special role in the European economy for many centuries. The Netherlands is one of the top 10 exporting countries in the world. Foodstuffs make up the largest industrial sector. As well, other major industries include chemicals, metallurgy, machinery, electrical goods, trade, services, and tourism. Number 4 on the list of happiest countries in the world is Switzerland. After conquering the first spot in the 2015's World Happiness Report, Switzerland slowly started losing ground until, 3 years ago, it reached its lowest position ever in the ranking at 6th. While the researchers point out that people's happiness levels tend to be closer to one another in the top-ranking countries, Switzerland then managed to take back the third spot in the list. It does, however, lose one position in the edition of the report, which is due to the improvements in the overall score of other top-performing countries. Fear not, Switzerland remains a country that seems to have been created precisely for the pursuit of a happy life. It can boast postcard landscapes and clean air, state-of-the-art infrastructure and education services, both great wealth and equal distribution of resources. Switzerland is notoriously neutral and has not been involved in a war since 1847. Additionally, although the Alps occupy the bulk of the region, the Swiss population of about 8.7 million is mostly concentrated on the plateau, where the largest cities and economic centers are, among them Zurich, Geneva, and Basel. Also, Switzerland is known for its expansive landscape. There are more than 1,500 lakes in this cleanest place on Earth, each less than 10 miles from another lake. Number 3 on the list of happiest countries in the world is Iceland. Iceland routinely tops a wide variety of quality of life rankings. Chosen by both the World Economic Forum as the best country in the world for gender equality and the Institute for Economics and Peace as the most peaceful for more than 10 years in a row. Iceland is the third happiest country in the world in 2022. It is a Nordic island country in the North Atlantic Ocean and the least populated country in Europe. Its capital and largest city is Reykjavik. More than 2/3 of the population lives in Reykjavik and surrounding areas in the southwest of the country. In addition, Iceland is the only part of the mid-Atlantic ridge that rises above sea level, and its central volcanic plateau is erupting almost continuously. Also, its high latitude and oceanic influence keep the summers cool, and most of its islands have a polar climate. The total population of Iceland is about 344,000 and the area is 39,682 square miles. Iceland was ranked second among the happiest countries in 2021, after Finland. Number 2 on the list of happiest countries in the world is Denmark. Coming in runner-up for the 4th year in a row, Denmark topped the list in the first report, in 2012, and again in 2013 and 2016. Nordic countries, the authors of the report have noted in the past, share similar social and political models and values. That explains why all of them feature among the 10 happiest nations in the world and why they often swap places on the happiness podium. Denmark is a Nordic country in Northern Europe. Denmark is located to the southwest of Sweden and south of Norway, and is bordered by Germany to the south. Danes score high when it comes to work-life balance, environment and healthcare. They also pride themselves on having one of the smallest wealth gaps in the world and a society where people share both the burdens and the benefits equally, the report shows, is a happier society. Number 1 on the list of happiest countries in the world is Finland. Finland did it again. It vaulted from 5th place to the top of the ranking 4 years ago and seems determined to stay firmly put. It is a Nordic country in Northern Europe that shares land borders with Sweden to the west, Russia to the east, and Norway to the north. This country of very happy people enjoys high standards of living, a thriving cultural life and 3 million very relaxing saunas. With more forest per square mile than any other European nation, many Finns also credit their connection with nature and the outdoors for their satisfaction with life. To not be selfish, the reigning champion of happiness even offers tips to the rest of the world on how to live better. Along with a lot of swimming, hiking and biking, through its tourism organization it recommends long walks in forests overflowing with berries, mushrooms and wild herbs. You've never seen anything remotely like that where you live? That's exactly point, they're telling you to come visit. So, which is your favorite country among the top 10 happiest countries in the world? Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this. Post your favorite countries among the top 10 happiest countries in the world in the comments below. I'd love to read them and I'm sure others would too.